of BVAS. You know, Mike, as you heard, in these dynamic, let me just use that word then, in these dynamic times, Mr. President has said that what he wants to be his legacy will be free, credible, you know, and fair election. So all of this, you know, I think earlier you had sort of referred to him and his efforts towards this end. You know, this is what we're talking about. The elections, you've explained that technologically it's sort of locked down. You can't do anything sort of destroy your PVC. But beyond that, so what we're saying is that it's a lot more difficult. You won't be getting the Tysons of this world seeking to vote. You won't be getting underage voters. We have both noted that it was very unfortunate that non-Nigerians are flashing PVCs and flashing NIM certificates. And then there's another kind of certificate for them, being that they're all ECOWAS members, and that would be NIM for migrants, you know, not for nationals. Yes. But it's unfortunate that anything seems to, you know, go in Nigeria. That, however, should not be a problem, right, Mike? Now that the authorities are saying to us that they've apprehended them, they sort of sent them back. Yeah. And then this whole idea of submitting those bogus documents, well, they're not bogus, but it's just that they were wrongly, because they seem to be genuine, but were wrongly issued. INEC is able to amend its own records now that a due authority has said that these people are not Nigerians. They have Nigerian documentation. Can you strike them off your records? Can INEC do that?
Yeah, sure. First and foremost, by the fact that these people are already in custody.
That, Mike, I'm sorry. They don't, because the news report says that the immigration officials have, you know, sent them back to whence they came from. But in the meantime,
okay, great. Yeah.
In the meantime, I beg your pardon. Ada in Jos has called in. Good morning, Ada.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Good morning, Mr. Igini. Ada calling from Jos Plateau State. Thank you for the information, but I've just tried it. I've tried the website. My own page is not opening, but I will keep on trying. But assuming it doesn't open, what next? What can one do? Mr. Gina, I hope you're listening to me.
He can hear you.
What can one do? Yes, to get the location. My page is not opening. Okay, now, apart from that, is this worrisome aspect of non-Nigerians registering and having names? It's not just enough to send them back or imprison them. What is INEC doing? How did they get registered? Let's go to the bottom of it. That's the problem we have in Nigeria for future elections. Why should non-Nigerians register in Nigeria? Why? What is it all about? No wonder some people keep on saying that they have the numbers. That is the numbers they are talking about. When you have non-Nigerians registering, that is what used to cause a problem. A credible register gives rise to a credible election, and it reduces the litigations in court, you know. So let's INEC try and get it right. Now, I'm very happy about the BVAS. It's a game changer, provided it's devoid of human interference. INEC should caution its staff on not compromising. The agents of political parties should also be vigilant, and also some of the voters that will wait for the votes to be counted and reconcile with the number of voters accredited by the BVAS. Those people should be there. All of us cannot be there. The younger ones can be there. That is the few of them. We should go out on 26th February to vote the candidate with character, competence, capacity, and compassion. Let's not give up on Nigeria because of the cash crisis, etc.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're very quickly to that.
Sure.
She could go to www.cvr.inecnigeria.org. www.cvr.inecnigeria.org. Just go there. All right. And before the program, I could also give you another one that you send the 9 digits, the digit of your of your V number,
but
and all that.
But Ada just told us that she had checked it out. But just in case there are other people who are not as adept. But what you just said is PV. I just wanted to get that address again. Did you say PVR? INEC Nigeria, one word.
C like communication, V like Victor, R like Roland. This one. Yes. Now they can try that. Again, Iori, interested about the BVAS that has brought there with so many shenanigans. Before now, at the polling unit, party agents, those sponsored by political parties, they just be mere agents. At the end of the poll, there's what they do, what they call sharing, or there's an organized crime in polling unit. They call sharing of unused ballots. With the current system, there's no more unused ballot to be shared anymore. Because every VIN number that must be on the BVAS as evidence of accreditation must have been somebody who was physically present at the polling unit.
Wait, Mike, Mike, is that a thing? There actually in the past used to be a sharing of unused ballots.
Unused ballot, that is at the end of the poll, a presiding officer is required by INEC instruction to cross all the unused ballots. But what happened was that they will not do so. They will politicians will compromise the party, the pool officials, that is presiding officer, including party agents that were even sponsored. Let me inform you, most of the party agents that you see, parties that are now supporters club you have in Nigeria, they are sponsored by the big parties, so that when they get to that point, you know, or where you don't even have party agent at all, what they will now do is to share the unused ballot. At that time, and that was supported by Section 53, that was basic computation on total number of registered voters, instead of those who actually came, which is now the new law.
Wow.
This is the game changer that we're having now. That is why you no longer have instead of what you call inconclusive election. Inconclusive election were on account of the fact that computation of voting was based on total number of registered voters instead of those who actually came, which is more realistic. For 20 years, we have been fighting this. We have been fighting this.
Okay,
we are happy.
Mike, let me bring on.
Knows no bad.
Okay, let me bring on Chris. Chris is calling in from Ijebu-Ode. Good morning to you, Chris.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Yes. I want to thank Mr. Igini for sharing more light on the use of the BVAS. Yes, hello?
We can hear you.
Yes. My concern is the electoral umpire, which is the INEC. They should be, just like they saw at that post as it should be. Yes, and hello?
Chris, we can hear you. Please
yes.
Carry on.
The issue of...
Okay, Chris, you drew it out, much longer than it needed to be, but thank you for calling.
No, Yori, you know why Nigerians should be upbeat? They should be happy with themselves. That politicians, they are not going to determine the fate of politicians in our country. Do you know that? All those rubbish people are telling politicians, please don't spend your money for anybody. Any INEC official, or all those who are claiming to be INEC official, are coming to tell you that there's a preloading of BVAS. There is not that preloading of BVAS. They just want to scam you. We have ICT scammers, 419, that are out there. Regrettably, many of the politicians in the world of ICT is a completely different world to them. Many are totally illiterate when it comes to that. Even some of us, we are even just struggling to try to make sure that we adapt. So politicians, people are going to them. If a cleaner in INEC can tell a politician that I will do this for you, and you're going to spend money, you are going to waste your money. There's no preloading of BVAS. Nothing like that is not going to happen, and there's no way you can bypass BVAS. That is the truth of the matter.
Okay, and one moment, Mike, one moment. Let me bring on Mr. George calling in from Ikeja.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, Mr. George.
And greetings to Mr. Igini. Uncle Yori, I have 3 questions for Mr. Igini. If you can give me time to please ask him.
Sure.
The first one concerns hacking. We have been hearing about what some known INEC portal in order to compromise this coming election. How foolproof is INEC portal?
Okay, so that's the first one. Let me get the other 2 quickly, please. That's the first one.
The second one has to do with the BVAS explanation he made.
Okay.
If the explanation Mr. Igini made is anything to go by, how is it that on the case in Oshu, INEC produced 3 types of BVAS reports? If the explanation he gives on the workings of BVAS is like that, and after elections, the party is coming to ask for a BVAS report, is it not better to give the final that all these ones are showing? That
okay, and the third one, finally.
How come also that the overvoting that was in contest there, most of them took place in one zone? So the third one is about posters. I don't know what INEC is doing about foreign countries coming to dictate or to conduct polls when elections are coming in our country.
Okay, posters.
This is the person who will win this, the other. It's inciting the public against each other.
Okay, let me take this to Mike. Let me take this to Mike. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr.
Very
George.
quickly, yes, Yori, yes, on hacking, the BVAS and the Irish election, there have been efforts to hack, but all have failed because INEC had used sufficient firewall. As a matter of fact, I will not speak to certain details on that for the purpose of those who are out there working against the system. Number two, with respect to hacking, INEC collation process is a dual process. The duplicates from EC88 is given to party agent, assuming without conceding that there's a likelihood, it could be hacked and all that. What about the original copy given to your party agent? And that is why we have said, by virtue of Section 43 of the Act, candidates, political parties, set up your situation room now. Set up your situation room now. You don't need to wait for INEC. As a matter of fact, Yori, if, for example, and I'm supposed to come to you to present to you the form EC88 original, a party agent who has just been given the duplicate, he will immediately snap that and send to the what you call their situation room, and they'll be doing their collation. Do you know now that, Yori, that political parties candidate, they will be ahead of INEC in collation process. They will be ahead of INEC. So in terms of hacking, we've not had that situation. Anybody can, you see, this is what is going on now. I don't want to say certain things here on this platform.
Okay.
Because I know how politicians have been duped in the past. That with respect to hacking. In the case of Oshun, I've said that before.
You've spoken on that. Yeah.
The analogy I gave
and I beg your pardon. I'm going to interrupt you at this stage.
There's nothing like that.
Mike, I'm going to interrupt you here because you've spoken about BVAS as you've just said, but there's also outstanding the pollsters, all these polls that are coming up now.
Yes,
Mr. George spoke about that. But before you go there, I want to bring in Dr. Ejiwumi, who has called in from Ile-Ife. Good morning, Dr. Ejiwumi.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
I appreciate all that you have been discussing so far, and I want to thank the guest that we have this morning.
The former
officer.
Yeah, the former resident commissioner.
Use of BVAS machine
for Akwa Ibom
that will be uploaded, whose data will be uploaded over and over. Why don't we have machines that we can use to upload data of the election only once, not one time, second time, third time? Why? The second one has to do with the case of Abia. I'm not going to make reference to Oshun, as our guest has been describing, where we have 3 BVAS reports, and they don't even agree with one another. I'm going to account for that occurrence. Thank you, sir.
All right, then. Thank you.
So, Yori, let me just quickly, let me butt in here.
Sure.
I don't know why we are not understanding ourselves on this here. You know, my only interest, I'll be very clear from day one. For 10 years, I've been working, we're fighting for this country. And that is that when there's a lie, there's a complete lie. I am saying that there's a negligence administratively on the part of the issuing authority. If when an applicant makes an application to have the back-end report, you have a duty to ensure that everything has been uploaded. You should have checked. That was not checked. Now, if you are insisting, sometimes you ask where even the applicant will insist that, look, give me whatever you have. All that ought to have been done, in respect of the Akwa Ibom example I gave, is to mark it interim report of back-end server report. You should have marked interim report.
That's right.
If it was marketed report, that would have been a consultative notice that something was still yet left behind. Now, if the second report was on account or the fact that when they now realized, because already the media, that what was given is short of this 100, is short of what you have on the form ECA, which is supposed to be 150, that may appear to be overvoted, which is not.
You've explained that, yeah.
Akwa Ibom was called. It was called, and the report, the other 50 was added. That gives you 150. Now, the third one people are talking about, that when you go to tribunal, like what is going to happen, this is also going to happen, they are going to call for inspection of material. When you inspect material, it's going to be everybody. Now, here is one final point I'll make on so that I don't go into that matter and all that. In the case of Akwa Ibom we're referring to, which can be extrapolated what happened either in Oshu elsewhere, is that we know when you go to tribunal, the places where you have the same thing, because the other party, you also have places where they won, but the total number of the accredited was.
I hear you, Mike. I think you've explained that. Maybe he. Okay, Mike. Maybe he missed it. You've explained that as you said. Let me bring in Mr. Joshua in Irewolede. Good morning, Mr. Joshua.
Okay, good morning and good morning to Mike Igini.
Thank you. Good morning.
I would only say he has spoken very well, and we continue to appreciate you, Uncle Yori, for giving us this platform to educate us, to inform us, and to enlighten us. I would say with his what is going on, all of us Nigerians should take this opportunity to create a revolution. This is the right revolution using our PVCs. I will appeal to my colleagues. Nigeria is good enough for us. We are Nigerians. We make the country what we want it to be. Let us have peace and go for this election. If we have, churches go for 100 days fasting, 50 days fasting. If we have to go for 7 days fasting, no money, no food, let us just make this transition happen. Let there be peace.
All right,
everywhere. To my colleagues in Nigeria, please, we need to get this done. Thank you, Okuyori.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua, calling in from Irewolede. Mike, would you like to because time is running out, but would you like to comment on the pollsters, those polls you were going to, but the polls that are coming in?
On pollsters, let me say this here. Look, on pollsters, let me tell you here. Nigeria cannot be in the autarky of other parts of the world. The Fran Act is a direct campaign by any foreign nation, all right, that vote for this or vote for that. With respect to a poll, that can be done. Even while we're Nigeria, we're not also making assessment of what will happen in the US. So I don't think that's really a serious issue to be worried about. I think that what is important is that we now have a law. We have a process. Because Alexander Pope made the point that political corruption is the mother of all kinds of corruption. And that is what we have ensured by ensuring that we design a process that will give meaning and purpose to the ballot and put Nigerian people at the center of democracy. What is going to happen on Saturday and subsequently is what we call to key on what the last speaker said. What we are going to witness is a peaceful electoral revolution that we have never seen before in our country. I must say this because the Yoruba say that, look, when they masquerade this, or all the masquerade that be pursuing us, all we need to do is to put in more effort. As we get tired, the masquerade also get tired. This is where we are. Right
okay,
now,
one second. Let me now. Our last caller is Ayodeji, who is calling in from Ikorodu. Good morning to you, Mr. Ayodeji.
Good morning to you, Okuyori, and good morning, Mr. Igini.
Okay.
It's great to watch this platform this morning. Quickly, I want to confirm from Mr. Mike. I've heard situations where a couple of people who are supposedly party agents, where I live in, says that they are willing to go to the extent of voting multiple times for their candidate. How is this possible?
Okay, that's a fine one. Thank you very much for calling in with that, Ayodeji from Ikorodu. Mike, very briefly, please.
Briefly, yes. That is not going to be possible. That's not going to be possible. But the point is this, that Nigerians get ready to go to the poll. We didn't have time to talk on other part how results are manipulated, even at the last stage. as evidence happened in Akwa Ibom, which I wanted to use to tell people. But you see, what the commission has done is to ensure that we put Nigerian people at the center. You see, enough of the struggle to build individual paradise and live in a common herd in a country. This election is going to be a class of its own. Our Papa have always told us that every society has its own enemies, as contained in his book, Open Society and Its Enemies. Our duty is to ensure, because the way we have designed this process, Iori, after this election, many people on their own will voluntarily don't want to be involved in politics. You see, a bird that does not have a strong score
time is winding down.
should not participate in the ceremony of a Wokepa's father. And as we wind down, my greatest worry, and I've been asked this question over and again, of all the key stakeholder institutions, I must say this here, that my constituency, the judiciary, is my greatest worry before and after this election. What they will do, because we now got to a level.
How will the judiciary conduct itself? I take that. I think everybody can understand that. Enough said, Mike. We don't have time for much more. But we just heard what you just said, that the judiciary is something that we're yet to see how they will conduct themselves. I want to thank you very much, Mike Igini, former resident. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye for now.